Hello everyone, I'm Ella, and today we're gonna be talking about a really interesting topic, which is Karmamudrā in Buddhism. Now, what does religion really mean? Buddhism is a faith that was founded by Siddhartha Gautama, or the Buddha, more than 2,500 years ago in ancient India, which is today's Nepal. With 470 million followers, scholars consider Buddhism one of the major world religions. Its practice has historically been most prominent in East and Southeast Asia, but its influence is growing in the West. Buddhism has three main branches: Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, and Vajrayana Buddhism. Today's Tibetan Buddhism and Chinese Buddhism are both a type of Mahayana Buddhism. In many people's impressions, there are many differences between Tibetan Buddhism and Chinese Buddhism, which makes Tibetan Buddhism sound very different and mysterious. Now let's get started. The controversial topics in Buddhism is Karmamudrā. In the murals of many temples in Tibet, we can see that there are many statues of Buddha and gods. A man and woman who embrace and unite each other is called YAB-YUM, and the female is called YIDAM. In addition, Abhiseka is a very important ceremony when Tibetan Buddhism cultivates Tantra. It's like what we call baptism in Christian, but it's more special, strict, and more complicated. From the entrance of the disciple to the highest practice of the Supreme Yoga Tantra, there will be multiple Abhiseka according to different realms. Abhiseka is considered the most solemn and sacred ceremony. If a disciple has processed the Abhiseka, he cannot read any tantric scriptures. Otherwise, he will not be able to cultivate the righteous fruit but will go to hell. So, what kind of ceremony is Abhiseka? Ordinary Abhiseka will be performed in a monastery with Buddha images painted on all sides. The Abhiseka person must first take a bath and change clothes. After putting on the sacrament, the master will hold a treasure bottle filled with water and sprinkle the water on top of the irrigated person's head. After that, the other one was made of human skull and someone will bring the vessel inside. Pour a Highland barley wine and let the recipient drink it. This is a general empowerment ceremony, but the highest level of empowerment is still the point of view when practicing the Supreme Yoga Tantra. There is an article widely circulated on the network. It is an interview with Bhutan. She is the YIDAM of Vajrayana. Her name is KIMIA, so she is also called Juba KIMIA. The inside of this article of KIMIA describes how he became a YIDAM and the whole process of empowerment. The Supreme Yoga Tantra is also called the Vajrayana. So the disciple who practiced the Supreme Yoga Tantra is also called Vajra. The Bhutanese YIDAM KIMIA was born in the time of King Jigme. When KIMIA was 14 years old, she passed through Vajra Juba, then she became a YIDAM of Vajrayana. When KIMIA sleeps as gently strokes Vajrajuba's side, Vajrayana looked back and saw KIMIA with a beautiful face and asked the female donor, "You and I have a lot of faith. Do you want to practice Karmamudrā with me?" At that time, Bhutan was a country where politics and religion were united, so women at that time believed that it was a supreme honor to dedicate their bodies to Dharma. So 14 years old KIMIA readily agreed. As a disciple of the Supreme Yoga Tantra, Vajrayana took KIMIA to a large temple in Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan, and found his master Vajra. There is a veil in the spiritual chamber of Master Vajrarupa, and the Abhiseka ceremony of the supreme yoga secret can be carried out in a veil. Master Vajrarupa performed a very solemn Vajra Lotus ceremony for KIMIA, which is what we usually call the blessing of YIDAM. That process means a vulgar woman ascend to heaven after seeing the sky. To clarify, it is an expression that after the body of a secular virgin was blessed and watched by Vajrarupa, she became the body of a celestial woman. After the YIDAM blessed watch, Master Vajrarupa and KIMIA entered the barrier to start the Karmamudrā process that was being implemented by the intercourse of man and woman. At this time, Vajrarupa was outside the tent, kneeling behind the curtain and waiting. When the Karmamudrā process, the Master Vajrarupa sat there and didn't move at all, focused his thoughts and experiencing great joy, and all the movements were completely by the YIDAM KIMIA. And then after the Karmamudrā, Master Vajrarupa walked to the barrier with the naked YIDAM KIMIA and took out the red and white Cintā-maṇi from the YIDAM's private parts with his thumb and ring finger. The red Cintā-maṇi are virgin blood, and the white Cintā-maṇi are the body fluid discharged by Master Vajrarupa during the Karmamudrā process. Then, the red and white Cintā-maṇi put into a mouth of Vajrarupa. This time, Vajrarupa will recite Vajra Sutra. Then Master Vajrarupa brought the hand of YIDAM KIMIA into the hand of Vajrarupa and said, "The Buddhas are evidence," means that I will testify for the Buddha, and I'll allow this woman to practice classes of Tantra. Vajrarupa will also warn Dhruva to follow the etiquette of Tantric practices and not to covet lust. Otherwise, they will go to hell if they fail to achieve the right result. After receiving the Karmamudrā ceremony, Master Vajrarupa will order his disciple Dhruva to walk behind the veil and to imitate himself and perform the Karmamudrā process again, and Master Vajrarupa will give direction beside them. This is the whole process of classes of Tantra empowerment. So from the process, it's not difficult to see why the Tantric double cultivation method in Tibet is so controversial. Before he became a Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha said, "If you don't get rid of the devil, the lust can't come out." In Tantric practice, he also believes that by truly experiencing lust, we can quit lust. Christy Chung once starred in a movie about Tibetan Buddhism called Samsara. In the movie, on a plateau of an altitude of 1,500 meters, a pair of three people on horseback rides in a cave and peaks of Apamuan has been practicing for 3 years. The eminent monk Tashi, at the age of 5, already began to enter the temple to practice. When he was in his 20s, he had a cultivation base. After 3 years of painstaking practice, Tashi's attainments in Buddhism were even praised by the reincarnated living Buddha in the temple. After returning to the temple, Tashi began to practice various sacrificial activities. When attending a sacrificial activities in the temple, there was a woman breastfeeding a baby. Her white breast caught Tashi's eyes. Tashi, who practiced at the age of 5, it's his first time to see a female body. But what is that? Why does she have that and I don't? At this time, Tashi's restless heart no longer listened to his own Dharma call. One night, the senior band brother passed Tashi's room, and at this time, he heard a very strange moan from the room, and then his brother walked over his room and he saw that Tashi was having a lost drink. At the annual harvest celebration, the monks and the temple were invited to a village down the mountain to help the villagers to pray for blessings. But in this event, Tashi met a beautiful village girl named Sama. From then on, Sama's beautiful figure lingered from Tashi's mind, and the struggle of Buddhism and desire Tashi finally couldn't help it one day. He asked the Master Buddha also experienced all the worldly before he enlightened the Dharma at that time, and I began to enter the temple when I was 5 years old and began to practice. I have not experienced the worldly and how to be born. This is too unfair for me, he said. Listening to Tashi's heartfelt tone, the master had already seen to Tashi's thoughts, so the master allowed Tashi's idea to resume to secular life. After returning to the vulgar, Tashi went to the village of Sama without any hesitation. The two people quietly fell in love. Tashi also took Sama as his wife. From then on, Tashi no longer had to dream of lust to fulfill his emptiness every night. In the secular world, where the sun rises and sun sets, Sama's belly grows big day by day, but life can always consist of love. After returning to the secular world, Tashi experienced the warmth and coldness of the world and experienced this strong food of the week. With a wife, a child, and even a lover. Finally, one day, a senior brother who had not seen him in many years came to the village and found Tashi, and brought news that the master was critically ill. The senior brother asked the senior and said, "Master is going to die soon. Do you remember who you are?" After experiencing all the worldly things, seeing the senior brother from afar, he has made the decision and he finally understands his heart. The happiness he experienced in the world was far less the happiness he got in the practice. Tashi shaved off his head and put on his practice clothes to go back to the temple. Sema was waiting for him on the way that Tashi led the factory temple. Sema said to Tashi that Siddhartha was married to Sakyamuni. On the day that Sakyamuni left in search for Dharma, Yasahadra and the child were sleeping, and the people of the future only remember how Sakyamuni was. Her sentient beings are very compassionate, but whenever a child asks who is his father and where is he, from the wife of Prince Siddhartha, how would Yasdhara answer? Today's topic is about Tibetan Buddhism. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, to thumbs up, and share, and we'll see you at our next videos. Bye!